Today on the Trent Out Loud Podcast. They told me to stick to policies, and they're not sticking to policies, so now I'm not going to stick to policies. Like, yeah, it's like, bro, like, you're 78 years old, like, you're a grown-up. What up? It's your boy, Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, it's Thursday morning. We got one more day till the weekend, but before that, we got a good show set up for you guys today. All right, I got 4 lead stories for you. Like we've been doing all week, we're going to kick off the show recapping last night's Democratic National Convention event. Then in our second lead story, we're going to talk about Donald Trump's comments to Michelle and Barack Obama's speeches. In our third lead story, we're going to talk about the judge who put the teenager that fell asleep in his courtroom in handcuffs. He is now facing a lawsuit. And then in our fourth and final lead story, Donald Trump might get sued by Beyoncé. Stay tuned, stick around for that. Then we're going to jump into quick news. We're going to talk about Amber Rose, Neo, Andy Cohen, Kourtney and Travis, and Dababy. Then we're going to get into question of the day. And always, as always, we're going to close out the show with a little bit of sports news. We got some news about Tom Brady. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. All right, so last night was day 3, the second to last day of the Democratic National Convention. As always, I started watching it at 6, went all the way till midnight. I would say this was maybe I don't want to say the slowest night, but it wasn't too much action going on. You had various, governors, senators. You had a family speaking that they were Israeli people, and their son was held. Their son is still being held hostage. That was a really good moment. You had Governor Shapiro from Pennsylvania. That was really good. You had a couple other people, Westmore. One of the highlights for me, I'm a big fan, Oprah Winfrey, my mom's favorite person in the world, so that was really good. Not too many highlights. I do have an Oprah Winfrey highlight, which was really good. After her, there was... Tim Walz. But before, take a listen for Oprah Winfrey taking a little shot at J.D. Vance. Take a listen.
Despite what some would have you think, we are not so different from our neighbors. When a house is on fire, we don't ask about the homeowner's race or religion, who their partner is, or how they voted. No. We just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady, well, we try to get that cat out too.
We try to get that cat out too. So no, that was really good. I would say Oprah's speech was more kind of like Obama's, where it was uplifting, the promise of America, about freedom. That's what I love about watching the Democratic National Convention. I said this yesterday too, I feel like they're talking to me too, even as a Canadian. I feel like they're talking to everybody in the world. They're just talking about like unity and uplifting people. And I know a lot of Republicans are going to say, well, they're not talking about policy. They're not talking how they're going to pay for all of that. And that's justified in some regard. But I do just like the message of unity and hope and uplifting each other. And that's what I really liked about Oprah's speech. And then Tim Walz came out. I forgot to say this yesterday, and I wanted to say this today. I still don't know much about him. Nobody really knows much about him. But if you watch him on Monday or even watch him today, just his facial expressions, like he just looks like a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that you could just tell, like you have a good vibe with, like you just see whether a guy or girl or whatever. It's like my spirit just takes to him. He just seems like a genuinely nice, good-hearted person. Now, I don't know, and I'm sure, America will find out if he does become vice president. We'll learn more about him or whatever. There may be skeletons in his closet. but just my gut feeling towards him is that he's just a good, genuine, good-hearted dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's a gunslinger, a gun owner, fisherman, Central America, just like an ordinary guy, like football coach. He just seems like an ordinary, just cool dude. And I just really like him. On the first day when people are talking about him, it just get a good look on his face. I can't tell you, I'm trying to put it into words, but it's hard. When you're feeling something, it's hard to put it in words. I just feel like he's a good person. And I feel like that's why Kamala Harris picked him, because he's a great number 2. And that's the point that I'm trying to make here, is that I don't know if Tim Walz will ever run for president. I'm not saying that he's not a good leader, but I think he's there to facilitate. Like, he's a great number 2. And I feel like he's like, whatever Kamala wants, I'm here to just help her. He just seems like he's a naturally helpful person. Anyway, so that's pretty much what encompasses his speech. It was really just about that, about his story and about his journey. So, like I said, there wasn't a bunch of highlights and a bunch of zingers and a bunch of, they went at Donald Trump, blah, 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 like there was yesterday with like the Obamas and a couple other highlights that I've played, except for that one from Oprah. But today was just, I think JD Vance. I think Vance from CNN said it perfectly when he's like, I think the Democratic Party, although they're not talking about policy, is just trying to tell you to trust them as the pilot. Like, if you just if Donald Trump was flying a plane, or if Kamala Harris was flying a plane, and the American, country is the plane, like, which character of person would you want flying the plane? And not literally flying the plane, but like, just on their character. And, I think Kamala Harris has a great character, and I think Tim Walz does too. So anyways, I'm really enjoying watching the Democratic National Convention, all the people. I did watch the Republican National Convention. Oh my gosh. The NRC, all right? And I did enjoy it too. I'm just feeling a little bit more of the love and the unity from Democrats. But like I always say every day, I'm not a Democrat, not Republican. I am Canadian. I don't have a dog in the race. I'm here to just tell you my take on what I'm seeing. And my American listeners out there, vote for whoever you want. That's another thing Oprah Winfrey said. She said she is a registered independent, and she is talking to the independents, and she's talking to the uncommitted, the people who don't know who they're voting for. She said, vote for your values. Vote what means to you. If you feel like Donald Trump speaks to you and his values, the things that are important to him, the way he speaks, if that speaks to you, vote for him. If Kamala Harris and Tim Walz speaks to you, then, vote for them. So I like that. Anyways, that's my recap on day 3. I'm really excited for tonight. Kamala Harris has a lot to live up to. There were some big speeches this past week that I'm very anxious to see if she lives up to the moment. Like I've always told you guys, I do like her, but I'm really interested to see how she's going to do tonight in her speech. And the biggest test for me, where I'll make my final decision, is September the 10th, how she is going to be in that debate. I think there's a lot of people who are thinking just like me, like, okay, you like her, you're this, whatever, blah, blah, and she's supposed to be this big bad prosecutor. And I told you, this might be a little mistake that the Democrats are doing, where they're building her up to be this machine almost of like, she was a prosecutor, she took down this, she took down that. Like, if Donald Trump in any sort of way takes lead of that debate, all of this is going to backfire. So anyways, can't wait for tonight and can't wait for the debates September the 10th. Let me know what you think of the DNC. Let me know if you're watching it. Let me know if you think all of this is crap and you do not even care about any of this. Let me know. Trent at cfqr600.com. Comment below or send me a DM at any of my social handles. Trent at Out Loud. All right, in our second lead story, Donald Trump speaks behind bulletproof glass during rally and reacts to Barack Obama and Michelle's comments that they made about him at the DNC. Donald Trump is speaking out about some of the comments Barack and Michelle made during his DNC speech last night. This was an old article, so this is from Tuesday night. Trump held his first outdoor rally since the assassination attempt on Tuesday and briefly reacted to the viral comment that the power couple directed towards him the other night. He said, "Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night?" Why he's got to call him Hussein Obama, I don't know. We all know that that's his middle name, but y'all know how Trump is. He's such an instigator. He continued by saying, "He was taking shots at your president, and so was Michelle. They're always saying, please stick to policy. Don't get too personal." Yet they get personal. They were getting personal all night long, these people. "Do I stick to policy?" he asked the crowd. As previously reported, former First Lady Michelle Obama delivered a speech in Chicago where she was strongly criticizing Donald Trump and shared her thoughts on his black job comments. I already spoke about that yesterday, so I don't have to get into all the things that she said. So Donald Trump was obviously not too happy. And of course, he also got a lot of attention because he's speaking behind bulletproof glass now. I have a little clip of Mr. Donald Trump. Here he is.
Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president, and so was Michelle. You know, they always say, sure, please stick to policy, don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy?
The thing that's funny about him is, like, he's super childish, right? It's like, they told me to stick to policies, and they're not sticking to policies, so now I'm not going to stick to policies. Like, yeah, it's like, bro, like, you're 78 years old. Like, you're a grown-up. You know what I mean? Like, geez, man. Like, yo, you know what? My team says I'm going to stick to policy. I don't care what they're doing. Let them make the mistake that I was making in the past. I'm here to talk to you guys about the border. I'm here to talk to you guys about this election. I'm here to talk to you about your economy. I'm here to talk to you about housing. Blah, 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 blah. And just stick to the message. You know what I mean? Like, why is he always like, he's just childish, man. Like, that's Trump. Again, not hating on him, just calling it like I see it. When he does good stuff, he does good stuff. But that was just ridiculous to comment on. He should have picked apart their policy comments and not like the whining comments. But hey, Trump is always going to be Trump. All I care about right now is, well, of course, Kamala Harris's speech Thursday night. And then I really cannot wait to see Donald Trump and Kamala Harris September the 10th. That's going to be the next big thing. But of course, we still got to wait for Kamala Harris and Thursday night's big, well, actually tonight's big speech. All right, this brings us to our third lead story. Judge Kenneth King hit with lawsuit for violating the constitutional rights of a teen who fell asleep in his courtroom. King's attorney says he's remorseful for harm caused by his actions. I don't know if this article is going to remind you guys, so I'll remind you guys quickly. I think this story broke last week, if I'm not mistaken, the week before. There was a teen. I did talk about it on the podcast 2 nights in a row, actually, two mornings in a row. There was a teen that was on a field trip to learn how the justice system was working, and she fell asleep in the courtroom. And the judge was like, hey, you cannot fall asleep in this courtroom. And he took it upon himself to kind of like chastise the child. And he kicked her out of the courtroom, put her in handcuffs. And when she was a little mouthy with him, he put her in like the orange jumpsuit. Anyways, everybody gave him a bunch of backlash. Then the next day it came out where her mom was like, hey, we're homeless. We jump around from house to house. She has a job, even though she's a teenager. And that's why she doesn't sleep, because she has a job to try to help me pay the bills. So things just got worse for him. And literally, I think Charlemagne gave him Donkey of the Day back to back. Like, it was just ridiculous. Anyway, so now this is somebody, I guess it's the parents or the school, we'll find out. But somebody's filing a lawsuit against them. I guess it's probably the parents. But here it is. We have an update for you. According to CBS News, the family of a Michigan teenager is suing Detroit judge Kenneth King for ordering her to be handcuffed after she fell asleep in his courtroom. As previously reported, the 15-year-old child was on a field trip with a local nonprofit when the incident occurred. The lawsuit claims that King not only handcuffed her, but also forced her to change into prison clothing, jailed her, and conducted a mock trial, all in which was live streamed. That's got to be so humiliating for a 15-year-old child. I didn't even know that they did a mock trial. That's crazy. The family represented by attorney James Harlington is seeking $75,000 for damages, including psychological care and legal fees. That's including, by the way. I think it should be extra for that. King has been temporarily removed from his docket and will undergo training. Wayne State University, where King was a professor, has resigned his courses and removed his profile from the website. The attorney representing Judge King released a statement on his behalf saying he's remorseful for any harm he has caused. So at least he's being remorseful, but he's not really remorseful for what he did. He's just remorseful that now this is a national, global story, and he looks like a friggin' idiot. Anyways, I'm just happy this happened. Like I said on the podcast, like they should have been suing for way more. Give this teen like everything, man. She needs a trip to Disneyland. She needs a car. The mom needs a car. They need an apartment. They need a house. They need bonuses. Like, this judge is just being a real, you know what. But anyways, I'm happy to hear that actions are taking place. So that's a good thing. All right, in our fourth and final lead story, sources close to Beyoncé allege she's threatening to send cease and desist letters to Trump's campaign for using freedom in their social media videos. All right, this is a quick story for you guys. Well, not quick story, it's still a lead story, but it's not very long. According to Rolling Stones, a source close to Beyoncé reveals that she's allegedly threatened to send, so she has already, she's allegedly threatened to send cease and desist to Donald Trump's campaign. Donald Trump's campaign recently posted on a social media video which included Beyonce's song Freedom. Rolling Stones reports that the Trump campaign did not receive permission to use the song, which Kamala Harris has been using as part of her campaign since President Biden pulled out and withdrew from the race. I just wanted to throw this in here to just make my point of how childish Donald Trump is. It's crazy. Like, we all know freedom is Kamala Harris's campaign. And he, like, I saw the post, he's getting off the plane and like the song is playing and like he does his, Donald Trump like horrible dance. And it's just like, there's trolling and then there's just being childish. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. But also too, he doesn't have much music he can play. I think it was last week where I told you guys there's over like 20 or 25 artists that are like banning Donald Trump from playing any of their music at his rallies or on social media. So anyways, this is kind of a troll, so I'm not going to totally go too hard on him. No diddy. But yeah, this is just typical Donald Trump, man. He's hilarious to me. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Amber Rose shares her thoughts on the DNC and suggests a new slogan for Kamala Harris. All right, Amber Rose weighed in last night at the DNC and admitted that the event looked fun. Nonetheless, she continued to share a lengthy suggestion on what she thinks VP Kamala Harris's new slogan should be. I'll let Amber Rose tell you better than I can tell you. That was supposed to be a joke and I kind of messed it up, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Here's Amber Rose.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, the DNC is so lit. Like, that shit was super popping last night. Shout out to Lil Jon. Like, they had Lil Jon there. This is fire. Kamala should have a new slogan. It should be, let's manipulate Americans into thinking that everything is all good and everything is just funny and laughs and jokes and like just cool ass music. And, while war veterans are broke, there's so many homeless people in America and people can't afford groceries.
All right, I hope you guys didn't think that was actually going to be a serious video. It did start off, but you couldn't hear the sarcasm until the end. Amber Rose is doing Amber Rose things. She's one of the paid influencers on the Donald Trump campaign. Her, Little Pump, Kodak, a couple other people. I think Flavio Foreign or whatever. You could tell that they're not like passionate about Trump. You could tell like it's very strategic. Like, okay, the DNC is coming. Social media is reacting. Can you guys do something? Because Amber Rose has the same sort of followers that Black social media has or Black Twitter. So anytime there's something that happens around like Barack Obama or something that's urban and it's on the Shade Room or Hollywood Unlocked or, Neighborhood Talk or any of these kind of popping social media pages, that's when you'll hear Lil Pump, Amber Rose or whatever. So this is just, trying to get, some of that Black vote that Barack Obama, Michelle, and Kamala Harris is getting. So, Amber, do your thing, man. All right, let's get away from politics. In our second quick story, Ne-Yo says there's no significant cap on how many women he's willing to bring into his polyamorous relationship. Okay, go ahead, Ne-Yo. R&B singer Ne-Yo has a lot of love to go around. TMZ recently caught up with the 44-year-old singer whose real name is Shafar Smith. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And asked him if he'd be willing to add more ladies to his polyamorous relationship. As previously reported, Ne-Yo is currently in a relationship with 2 different women. Speaking on whether there's a chance his number of girlfriends could grow, Ne-Yo said, "There's no specific cap. It just depends on who I vibe with and who vibes with me." After shrugging his shoulders, he added, "I mean, as many as I can afford." This isn't the first time Ne-Yo has addressed his non-traditional lifestyle. Earlier this year, he chatted with the same publication and shared his belief that being married to more than one person should be legal. He expressed, "In the realm of love and romance, you should let people do whatever the hell they want. Can't see it hurting anybody." He added, "To be honest, I don't need the government to tell me what I can and cannot do with my personal life." All right, so that's Ne-Yo. I mean, I don't understand, I don't know if people understand, what real polyamorous is. To me, it sounds just because you guys know, Ne-Yo was married with kids, he got through a divorce. So I think he just doesn't want to go through that kind of traditional relationship. And if you ask me, not to get too much into Ne-Yo's business, but just talking generally, he's just dating a couple of girls. You know what I'm saying? That's just normal single life. To be in a real polyamorous relationship, it goes so much deeper than that. So anyways, I can't talk in the next man relationship. I don't know, but I just feel like people are now in the past couple of years, using this polyamorous without even knowing really what it is. But because that's not what it is. Just let's add as many women as I can afford, as many. There's no cap. You have to have real relationships. A polyamorous relationship, you're in an actual committed relationship. Just you're committed to those individual people. Him saying I'll add a bunch of girls that I can afford, bro. You dating, bro. All right, in our third quick story, Brady Granville claims Andy Cohen attempted to use her as his little sex worker, wanting her to sleep with different cast and crew members. All right, another male in Hollywood getting accused of sex trafficking and sexual assault and all of these other things. How was this start here? Okay. The reality Scarlett recently declared her intentions to sue Bravo executives for sexual harassment and expose inappropriate. And she wants to expose inappropriate texts and emails where he allegedly made unwarranted remarks and suggestions about her sex life. Brady Granville reportedly made several accusations against her former boss shortly after releasing the documents to the media. As we previously covered, the entertainer has been calling out Andy Cohen for months now, condemning him for allegedly abusing his power as her employer and crossing a professional line by asking if she wanted to watch him have sex on FaceTime. Sorry, just delayed that because I just wanted to make sure I could say that on the radio. Cohen subsequently claims that the comment was made in jest, I guess as a joke. However, Glanville is now insisting that the alleged sexual harassment didn't begin nor end there. One report notes that Glanville shared several messages exchanging between her and Cohen that spanned more than a decade. All right, if this is going on for more than a decade, that's a lot longer than just a joke. In one screenshot of Texas, Cohen allegedly reached out to Granville following the BravCon in 2020, writing, kind of hoping you and your stage manager hook up. He allegedly added to the text thread saying, I really wanted you and Austin to get together. He had eyes on you, etc., etc. There's things I can't read on the radio. So I did hear about this. I think this is the first time I'm talking about this on my podcast because I feel like it's ramping up to get a little bit more serious. Like I said, like it said in the article, she's released these things to the public. It's going. We'll see if there's like a civil suit that comes or criminal charges. Same thing with Diddy. Right now, this sounds more like she's suing Bravo, so she's going after their money, and it will be a civil suit and not a criminal suit. But of course, I'll follow up and let you know. All right, in our fourth quick story, another topic about sex. Man, we went politics, and now we just can't stop talking about sex stories. I gotta talk with our producers. Kourtney Kardashian's low sex drive after giving birth is allegedly caused by stress in her marriage to Travis Barker, sources say. Looks like Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker are struggling to balance marriage and being parents to a newborn. Sources claim that the couple's sex life has been suffering lately as the reality stars hasn't been much in a mood to be intimate. Okay, I don't understand, like, why does this have to be public information? Like, I don't understand this. This just sounds to me like promo for their show, but anyways, I'll keep on reading. According to the reports from In Touch, sources allege that now that Kourtney has a new baby, she simply cannot keep up with Travis's energy in the bedroom. She's exhausted a lot of the time and just not in the mood the way she used to be, explaining that Travis Barker has had a difficult time transitioning in their new reality, sources claim. The attraction between them is still there, but they're not throwing themselves at each other or packing on the PDA nearly as much as they used to. And it's been a tough time for Travis to adjust to. The sources went on further to say that the Blink-182 drummer, who is 48 years old, is a bit needy and insecure regarding his romance with Kourtney Kardashian, who's 45 years old. They added that he's been struggling since he normally gets reassured for having marathon sex sessions. Okay, I'm done with it. I'm not reading this anymore. We need a female co-host to talk about these stories. Anyways, I have nothing to say about this, man. We're just going to move on to story number 5. This is crazy. All right, in our fifth and final quick story, talking about sex marathons and stuff, man. This is a Trent Out Loud podcast, yo. All right, I got an update on Danny Leahy's brother demanding $4 million over a 2022 bowling alley brawl with Dababy. I remember actually covering this story. The Trent Out Loud podcast is coming up till on 2 years old. And I remember this actually being not one of the first, but in my early kind of episodes, I remember talking about this story. Look at me getting all nostalgic and stuff. Brandon Bills, brother of Danny Leahy. By the way, Danny Leahy is Dababy's baby mama. So for those of you who don't remember, so Dababy and Daniel Leahy have a kid together. They broke up and they got into, I think it was like a fight they got into or whatever. And then her brother saw him at a bowling alley and they got into a fight. Sorry, let me get back to the story. So Brandon Bills, brother of Daniel Leahy, is still seeking justice after allegedly being assaulted by Dababy and his crew. Quick recap. February 2022, Dababy allegedly jumped Bills at the Los Angeles bowling alley. The altercation reportedly stemmed from Bills being angry over the way the rapper treated his sister towards the end of the relationship. See, I remembered everything perfectly. Authorities tried to investigate the fight. However, it said that the investigation quickly came to an end as Bills refused to cooperate with police. According to court documents obtained by In Touch, Bills, that's his last name, Bills, is now demanding over $4 million in damages over what went down. Allegedly, he suffered severe injuries, physical damages, and incurred medical bills. He argues he's owed $2 million in general damages and another $2 million in special damages. What does $2 million in special damages even mean? You see, just like how we were talking about with Andy Cohen or Diddy or whatever, it's like nobody wants to file criminal charges anymore. This man didn't want to work with police. The police couldn't even investigate it. He wouldn't cooperate with them, but he's like, yo, you owe me $4 million, man. We're going to cooperate in the civil suit fully. No problem. Like, I want my money. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that's what's happening in 2024. People are like, yo, I just want my money, man. Anyways, what's my take on this? Like, whatever. Do your own thing. I actually really don't care. Yo, I don't care. I just like, he was defending his sister. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's something like any man would do. And he was shorthanded, right? Dababy was there with his crew and he got beat up and now he wants his money. So they'll probably settle out of court $500,000 or whatever, but whatever. Do y'all thing. All right. This brings us to question of the day. All right. This is a good one, y'all. What do you refuse to do in a relationship? We've got a lot of relationship questions this past week, and they've always done good. You guys always send me in your comments. All right. Somebody said, I refuse to cut my friends and family off or abandon my hobbies. Never get your identity outside of me. Sorry, you need to get your identity outside of me. All right. I totally agree. But with an asterisk, but I'll wait till the end. Somebody said, I refuse to beg for love or attention. Another person said, I refuse to give someone forgive someone for cheating. Like, in a relationship, I won't forgive anybody for cheating. All right. But that's even too, like, there's context to everything, man. Another person said, give more than what's been given. Okay, I totally agree with that. Hell yeah, it's me _me said, deal with low emotional intelligence. Nope. That I agree 100%. If you don't have emotional intelligence, I don't even want you anywhere near around me. Never mind a relationship. Nah, man. Somebody said, I refuse to be abused in any form ever again. There you go. Stand up. I totally agree with that. Raven, who said, tolerate any form of abuse, disrespect, or cheating. Okay, obviously. Just Janelle said, I refuse to pay attention. What? Not pay for anything. What? I refuse to not pay for anything. It's ridiculous to put that type of pressure on one person. Girl, got a job. Is this a guy or a girl who's saying this? Anyways, not too sure if I understand that one. I'll move along. Here, J21 said, share my location. If we that insecure, we shouldn't be together. What? Okay, some of these comments are weird. If you're in a relationship, you refuse to share your location. If you're that insecure, oh, I understand. Who would ask that? Okay, I totally got. She means share her location. I don't know if this is a girl or a boy. No, this is a guy. Share my location. That means like, hey, if I'm going out the house, I'm going to share my location on my phone with you, like, so you could see everywhere where I'm going. First of all, I think I talked about this yesterday. I can't remember what the question was. Or maybe it was the day before. It was about trust, like if you should have access to your person's phone. Yo, even if you have access to someone's phone, someone's just going to delete everything. And what I was saying is that if you think that somebody is doing something, even if they're not, you shouldn't be in a relationship with somebody who you don't trust. So if you have to share your location with somebody, all someone's going to do is share their location with you on their phone. They're going to drive to wherever they say they're going, leave their phone there, go and do whatever they have to do, and come back, and you're going to be like, whoo, yo, my man ain't doing nothing. He was at Bobby's house the whole night. Well, no, his phone was at Bobby's house the whole night, and he was over with Cindy in the parking lot in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. But my point is that if you have to think to do that stuff, even if the person is not cheating, you should break up with that person because there's a problem in the relationship. All right. Miss POPW said, I refuse to tolerate cheating, lying, living together unmarried, and any form of abuse, especially financial abuse. Oh, how do you financially? I guess you financially abuse somebody by making them pay for everything. Somebody said, pay for anything. I can struggle and or collect my coins by myself. I can't buy nut or food. Okay. All right, I'll read a couple more. Some Money Right said, being with a male just to have a male. Okay. And then the last one here says, some of y'all been through so much stuff, huh? We love people who learn their lesson and not spin the block. All right. Not too great of comments today. Somebody said, don't want to deal with domestic violence. Be the man. A woman says she doesn't want to be the man in the relationship. I like that. Somebody said, I refuse to be a dummy. Take back a man who cheats over and over again. See, I like that. I like the over and over again. Anyways, what do I refuse to do in a relationship? I don't know. That's too much detail. I ain't giving that up to y'all, man. All right, this brings us to sports news. All right, I got a good one from Tom Brady. Tom Brady explains why he thinks there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL. Yo, that's some big talk, yo. Tom Brady is sharing his unflattering thoughts on the state of the NFL. The retired quarterback sat down with Stephen A. Smith at Fantastic Fest, where he doubled down on his previous statement that there's a lot of mediocrity in today's NFL. As for why he believes that, the 7-time Super Bowl champion explained, ultimately, the development of the players is the most important thing in the NFL. If you want football to be good, you're going to have to want to develop these players every single year. And the reality is that they don't have the process in place to help those players get better year after year. He added, they may get slightly better, but not at the improvement level that where they are able to make the younger players better. He went on to credit way less distraction and more opportunities during the offseason to train for the reason he believes his generation of the NFL players was a lot stronger. So he then credited Kansas City Chiefs Patrick Mahomes as the best quarterback in the NFL right now. That's right. You better give my boy some props, yo. Anyway, some interesting insight from the legend. I cannot call him the GOAT because we got a young GOAT in training, Patrick Mahomes, yo, going for a three-peat this year. All right, that is my Thursday show. I was really in a good mood today, man. I feel like I was like extra peppy, man. Anyways, thanks for kicking it with me, guys. I will see you tomorrow for Friday's show. Before I let you go, just got to remind you all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. If you're used to watching this show on YouTube or podcast platforms, please try to check me out Monday through Friday from 11 to 12 on CFQR600.com or 600 AM if you're in the Montreal area. We do play the Trent Out Loud podcast, and we mix it in with 90s and 2000 hip-hop and R&B. It's a great hour. It's a great way to split up your morning and your afternoon. Vice versa, if you're used to listening to the show on CFQR and you can't always catch it between 11 and 12, don't worry. You can always catch every single episode on YouTube or podcast platforms. Just go to your desired site, type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so you can be notified every time we upload a new show. Lastly, if you're like me and you like to watch your podcast with video, Spotify now supports video, and it's a great way to watch because if you're on your phone like me, then I'm always on my phone. It'll live on my phone. If you are watching the video, if your phone rings or if you're using another app, the app stays open. We're on YouTube. It closes down. So please try to check us out on Spotify. It's a great viewing experience. Lastly, you can always check me out and follow me on Instagram or any social platforms at Trent Out Loud and the media company Exclucity Media on Instagram. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.